The Almanack of Naval Ravikant, Chapter 1, Episode 4. This episode covers pages 77 through 91. Failed entrepreneur than someone who never tried, because even a failed entrepreneur has the skill set to make it on their own. There are almost 7 billion people on this planet. Someday, I hope, there will be almost 7 billion companies. I learned how to make money because it was a necessity. After it stopped being a necessity, I stopped caring about it. At least for me, work was a means to an end. Making money was a means to an end. I'm much more interested in solving problems than I am in making money. Any end goal will just lead to another goal, lead to another goal. We just play games in life. When you grow up, you're playing the school game or you're playing the social game. Then you're playing the money game, and then you're playing the status game. These games just have longer and longer and longer lived horizons. At some point, at least I believe, these are all just games. These are games where the outcome really stops mattering once you see through the game. Then you just get tired of games. I would say I'm at the stage where I'm just tired of games. I don't think there is any end goal or purpose. I'm just living life as I want to. I'm literally just doing it moment to moment. I want to be off the hedonic treadmill. What you really want is freedom. You want freedom from your money problems, right? I think that's okay, once you can solve your money problems, either by lowering your lifestyle or by making enough money. You want to retire. Not retirement at 65 years old, sitting in a nursing home collecting a check retirement. It's a different definition. What is your definition of retirement? Retirement is when you stop sacrificing today for an imaginary tomorrow. When today is complete, in and of itself, you're retired. How do you get there? Well, one way is to have so much money saved that your passive income, without you lifting a finger, covers your burn rate. A second is you just drive your burn rate down to zero, you become a monk. A third is you're doing something you love. You enjoy it so much, it's not about the money. So there are multiple ways to retirement. The way to get out of the competition trap is to be authentic, to find the thing you know how to do better than anybody. You know how to do it better because you love it, and no one can compete with you. If you love to do it, be authentic, and then figure out how to map that to what society actually wants. Apply some leverage and put your name on it. You take the risks, but you gain the rewards, have ownership and equity in what you're doing, and just crank it up. Did your motivation to earn money drop after you become financially independent? Yes and no. It did in the sense the desperation was gone. But if anything, creating businesses and making money are now more of an art. Whether in commerce, science, or politics, history remembers the artists. Art is creativity. Art is anything done for its own sake. What are the things that are done for their own sake, and there's nothing behind them? Loving somebody, creating something, playing. To me, creating businesses is play. I create businesses because it's fun, because I'm into the product. I can create a new business within 3 months. Raise the money, assemble a team, and launch it. It's fun for me. It's really cool to see what can I put together. It makes money almost as a side effect. Creating businesses is the game I became good at. It's just my motivation has shifted from being goal-oriented to being artistic. Ironically, I think I'm much better at it now. Even when I invest, it's because I like the people involved, I like hanging out with them, I learn from them. I think the product is really cool. These days, I will pass on great investments because I don't find the products interesting. These are not 100% or nothing things. You can start moving more and more toward that goal in your life. It's a goal. When I was younger, I used to be so desperate to make money that I would have done anything. If you'd shown up and said, "Hey, I've got a sewage trucking business, want to go into that?" I would have said, "Great, I want to make money." Thank God no one gave me that opportunity. I'm glad I went down the road of technology and science, which I genuinely enjoy. I got to combine my vocation and my avocation. I'm always working. It looks like work to others, but it feels like play to me, and that's how I know no one can compete with me on it. Because I'm just playing for 16 hours a day. If others want to compete with me, they're going to work, and they're going to lose because they're not going to do it for 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. What was your figure where you thought you were financially safe? Money is not the root of all evil. There's nothing evil about it, but the lust for money is bad. The lust for money is not bad in a social sense. It's not bad in the sense of you're a bad person for lusting for money. It's bad for you. Lusting for money is bad for us because it is a bottomless pit. It will always occupy your mind. If you love money and you make it, there's never enough. There is never enough because the desire is turned on and doesn't turn off at some number. It's a fallacy to think it turns off at some number. The punishment for the love of money is delivered at the same time as the money. As you make money, you just want even more, and you become paranoid and fearful of losing what you do have. There's no free lunch. You make money to solve your money and material problems. I think the best way to stay away from this constant love of money is to not upgrade your lifestyle as you make money. It's very easy to keep upgrading your lifestyle as you make money. But if you can hold your lifestyle fixed and hopefully make your money in giant lump sums as opposed to a trickle at a time, you won't have time to upgrade your lifestyle. You may get so far ahead you actually become financially free. Another thing that helps, I value freedom above everything else. All kinds of freedom. Freedom to do what I want, freedom from things I don't want to do, freedom from my own emotions or things that may disturb my peace. For me, freedom is my number one value. To the extent money buys freedom, it's great. But to the extent it makes me less free, which it definitely does at some level as well, I don't like it. The winners of any game are the people who are so addicted they continue playing even as the marginal utility from winning declines. Do I have to start a company to be successful? The most successful class of people in Silicon Valley on a consistent basis are either the venture capitalists, because they are diversified and control what used to be a scarce source, or people who are very good at identifying companies that have just hit product market fit. Those people have the background expertise and references those companies really want to help them scale. Then they go into the latest Dropbox or the latest Airbnb. The people who were at Google then joined Facebook when it was 100 people, and then joined Stripe when it was 100 people. When Zuckerberg was just starting to scale his company and panicked, he was like, I don't know how to do this. And he called Jim Breyer, venture capitalist and founder of Excel P. Partners. And Jim Breyer said, well, I have this really great head of product at this other company and you need this person. Those people tend to do the best, risk-adjusted over a long period of time, other than the venture investors themselves. Some of the most successful people I've seen in Silicon Valley had breakouts very early in their careers. They got promoted to VP, director, or CEO, or started a company that did well fairly early. If you're not getting promoted through the ranks, it gets a lot harder to catch up later in life. It's good to be in a smaller company early because there's less of an infrastructure to prevent early promotion. For someone who is early in their career, and maybe even later, the single most important thing about a company is the alumni network you're going to build. Think about who you will work with and what those people are going on to do. How to get lucky? Why do you say? Get rich without getting lucky. In 1,000 parallel universes, you want to be wealthy in 999 of them. You don't want to be wealthy in the 50 of them where you got lucky, so we want to factor luck out of it. But getting lucky would help, right? Just recently, Babak Nivi, my co-founder, and I were talking on Twitter about how one gets lucky, and there are really 4 kinds of luck we were talking about. The first kind of luck is blind luck, where one just gets lucky because something completely out of their control happened. This includes fortune, fate, etc. Then there's luck through persistence, hard work, hustle, and motion. This is when you're running around creating opportunities. You're generating a lot of energy. You're doing a lot to stir things up. It's almost like mixing a Petri dish or mixing a bunch of reagents and seeing what combines. You're just generating enough force, hustle, and energy for luck to find you. A third way is you become very good at spotting luck. If you are very skilled in a field, you will notice when a lucky break happens in your field, and other people who aren't attuned to it won't notice. So you become sensitive to luck. The last kind of luck is the weirdest, hardest kind, where you build a unique character, a unique brand, a unique mindset, which causes luck to find you. For example, let's say you're the best person in the world at deep-sea diving. You're known to take on deep-sea dives nobody else will even dare to attempt. By sheer luck, somebody finds a sunken treasure ship off the coast they can't get to. Well, their luck just became your luck, because they're going to come to you to get to the treasure, and you're going to get paid for it. This is an extreme example, but it shows how one person had blind luck finding the treasure. Them coming to you to extract it and give you half is not blind luck. You created your own luck. You put yourself in a position to capitalize on luck or to attract luck when nobody else created the opportunity for themselves. To get rich without getting lucky, we want to be deterministic. We don't want to leave it to chance. Ways to get lucky: hope luck finds you. Hustle until you stumble into it. Prepare the mind and be sensitive to chances others miss. Become the best at what you do. Refine what you do until this is true. Opportunity will seek you out. Luck becomes your destiny. It starts becoming so deterministic, it stops being luck. The definition starts fading from luck to destiny. To summarize the fourth type: build your character in a certain way, then your character becomes your destiny. One of the things I think is important to make money is having a reputation that makes people do deals through you. Remember the example of being a great diver, where treasure hunters will come and give you a piece of the treasure for your diving skills. If you are a trusted, reliable, high-integrity, long-term thinking dealmaker, when other people want to do deals but don't know how to do them in a trustworthy manner with strangers, they will literally approach you and give you a cut of the deal just because of the integrity and reputation you've built up. Warren Buffett gets offered deals to buy companies, buy warrants, bail out banks, and do things other people can't do because of his reputation. Of course, he has accountability on the line, and he has a strong brand on the line. Your character and your reputation are things you can build, which will let you take advantage of opportunities other people may characterize as lucky, but you know it wasn't luck. My co-founder Nivi said, "In a long-term game, it seems that everybody is making each other rich. And in a short-term game, it seems like everybody is making themselves rich." I think that is a brilliant formulation. In a long-term game, it's positive sum. We're all baking the pie together. We're trying to make it as big as possible. And in a short-term game, we're cutting up the pie. How important is networking? I think business networking is a complete waste of time. And I know there are people and companies popularizing this concept because it serves them and their business model well. But the reality is, if you're building something interesting, you will always have more people who will want to know you. Trying to build business relationships well in advance of doing business is a complete waste of time. I have a much more comfortable philosophy. Be a maker who makes something interesting. People want. Show your craft, practice your craft, and the right people will eventually find you. And once you've met someone, how do you determine if you can trust someone? What signals do you pay attention to? If someone is talking a lot about how honest they are probably dishonest. That is just a little telltale indicator I've learned. When someone spends too much time talking about their own values or they're talking themselves up, they're covering for something. Sharks eat well but live a life surrounded by sharks. I have great people in my life who are extremely successful, very desirable, like everybody wants to be their friend, very smart. Yet I've seen them do one or two things slightly not great to other people. The first time I'll say, "Hey, I don't think you should do this to that other person." Not because you won't get away with it. You will get away with it, but because it will hurt you in the end. Not in some cosmic, karma kind of way, but I believe deep down we all know who we are. You cannot hide anything from yourself. Your own failures are written within your psyche, and they are obvious to you. If you have too many of these moral shortcomings, you will not respect yourself. The worst outcome in this world is not having self-esteem. If you don't love yourself, who will? I think you just have to be very careful about doing things you are fundamentally not going to be proud of because they will damage you. The first time someone acts this way, I will warn them. By the way, nobody changes. Then I just distance myself from them. I cut them out of my life. I just have this saying inside my head. The closer you want to get to me, the better your values have to be. Give me a lever long enough and a place to stand, and I will move the earth. Be patient. One thing I figured out later in life is generally, at least in the tech business in Silicon Valley, great people have great outcomes. You just have to be patient. Every person I met at the beginning of my career 20 years ago, where I looked at them and said, "Wow, that guy or gal is super capable, so smart and dedicated." All of them, most without exception, became extremely successful. You just had to give them a long enough time scale. It never happens in the time scale you want, or they want, but it does happen. Apply specific knowledge with leverage and eventually, you will get what you deserve. It takes time. Even once you have all of these pieces in place, there is an indeterminate amount of time you have to put in. If you're counting, you'll run out of patience before success actually arrives. Everybody wants to get rich immediately, but the world is an efficient place. Immediate doesn't work. You do have to put in the time. You do have to put in the hours, and so I think you have to put yourself in the position with the specific knowledge, with accountability, with leverage, with the authentic skill S. You have to be the best in the world at what you do. You have to enjoy it and keep doing it, keep doing it and keep doing it. Don't keep track and don't keep count, because if you do, you will run out of time. The most common bad advice I hear is, "You're too young." Most of history was built by young people. They just got credit when they were older. The only way to truly learn something is by doing it. Yes, listen to guidance, but don't wait. People are oddly consistent. Karma is just you, repeating your patterns, virtues, and flaws until you finally get what you deserve. Always pay it forward, and don't keep count. This is not to say it's easy. It's not easy. It's actually really freaking hard. It is the hardest thing you will do, but it's also rewarding. Look at the kids who are born rich. They have no meaning to their lives. Your real resume is just a catalog of all your suffering. If I ask you to describe your real life to yourself, and you look back from your deathbed at the interesting things you've done, it's all going to be around the sacrifices you made, the hard things you did. However, anything you're given doesn't matter. You have your 4 limbs, your brain, your head, your skin. That's all for granted. You have to do hard things anyway to create your own meaning in life. Making money is a fine thing to choose. Go struggle. It is hard. I'm not going to say it's easy. It's really hard, but the tools are all available. It's all out there. Money buys you freedom in the material world. It's not going to make you happy. It's not going to solve your health problems. It's not going to make your family great. It's not going to make you fit. It's not going to make you calm, but it will solve a lot of external problems. It's a reasonable step to go ahead and make money. What making money will do is solve your money problems. It will remove a set of things that could get in the way of being happy, but it is not going to make you happy. I know many very wealthy people who are unhappy. Most of the time, the person you have to become to make money is a high anxiety, high stress, hard-working, competitive person. When you have done that for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and you suddenly make money, you can't turn it off. You've trained yourself to be a high-anxiety person. Then you have to learn how to be happy. Let's get you rich first. I'm very practical about it because, Buddha was a prince. He started off really rich. Then he got to go off in the woods. In the old days, if you wanted to be peaceful inside, you would become a monk. You would give up everything, renounce sex, children, money, politics, science, technology, everything, and you would go out in the woods by yourself. You had to give everything up to be free inside. Today, with this wonderful invention called money, you can store it in a bank account. You work really hard, do great things for society, and society will give you money for things it wants but doesn't know how to get. You can save money, you can live a little below your means, and you can find a certain freedom. That will give you the time and the energy to pursue your own internal peace and happiness. I believe the solution to making everybody happy is to give them what they want. Let's get them all rich. Let's get them all fit and healthy. Then, let's get them all happy. Amazing how many people confuse wealth and wisdom.